Stop lying to yourself. I know exactly what you texted last night. So, what are we? And they hit you with the classic, I'm just not ready to label things right now. And you said, totally, no pressure, while internally screaming into the void like a Walmart parking lot at 3 a.m. Welcome to your situationship, or as I call it, emotional purgatory with better lighting. You're not in a relationship. You're in a holding pattern, and today I'm going to explain why you're still there, why it feels impossible to leave, and why, spoiler alert, you're the one keeping yourself stuck. This is going to hurt, but you clicked, so buckle up. Meet Kyle. Kyle is 28. Kyle has been seeing someone for 7 months. 7 months. They hang out twice a week. They text every day. They've met each other's friends. They've had the "what are you looking for" conversation 3 times. And every time Kyle's person says, I'm just figuring things out right now. And Kyle says, yeah, me too, no rush. Kyle was in fact rushing internally. Here's what Kyle's week looks like. Monday through Thursday, he's refreshing Instagram stories like it's his part-time job, analyzing every post. Who's that in the background? Is that a guy? Why are they at a bar without telling me? Friday rolls around. They finally text. Why you doing tonight? And Kyle, despite having plans, despite being exhausted, despite his therapist literally telling him to set boundaries, Kyle responds in 0.3 seconds. Nothing much, you free? They hook up. It's great. Kyle feels connected, seen. Like maybe this is the night they'll finally talk about being official. Instead, they scroll shorts in silence for 20 minutes, then leave at 1 a.m. because they have an early morning. Sunday, Kyle's spiraling, sends a meme, gets left on red for 6 hours. Now here's where it gets interesting. Kyle's best friend, let's call him Rational Thought, says, dude, this person is breadcrumbing you. You deserve better. And you know what Kyle says? But when we're together, it's so good. I think they just need more time. They've been hurt before. Time, the magic word. Kyle's been giving them time for 7 months. And then, on a random Tuesday night, Kyle sees it. A tagged photo. Their person at a wedding with someone else, holding hands. Caption, my +1, heart. Okay, let's talk about what just happened to Kyle's brain, because this isn't just bad luck. This is psychology, baby. Dark, predictable, and honestly kind of beautiful in a tragic way. Kyle is experiencing something called ambiguous loss. This is a term coined by Dr. Pauline Boss. It's the grief you feel when someone is physically present but emotionally absent. Or when you're in a relationship that's not really a relationship. You're with them, but you're not with them. They're here, but they're not here. And here's the kicker. Ambiguous loss is harder to process than a clean breakup. Why? Because your brain can't grieve something that hasn't officially ended. You can't move on from something that technically never started. You're stuck in limbo, the relationship Schrodinger's cat. Simultaneously alive and dead until someone opens the box and defines it. But nobody's opening that box because Kyle won't ask and they won't offer. Now, add the sunk cost fallacy to the mix. This is an economic principle that explains why you'll sit through a terrible movie just because you paid for the ticket, or why you'll eat the entire mediocre burrito even though you stopped enjoying it 3 bites in. You've invested 7 months into Kyle's situationship. 7 months of analyzing texts, canceling plans to be available, emotional labor, hope. And the brain says, if I walk away now, all that time was wasted. So you stay. You invest more time, more energy, more hope. Because quitting feels like admitting defeat. Congratulations. You're now stuck in a psychological trap of your own making, hoping that if you just wait a little longer, they'll magically decide you're worth committing to. They won't. If you've ever been Kyle, or if you're currently being Kyle right now, do me a favor and like this video. The algorithm needs to know how many of you are out here playing yourself. Go ahead, I'll wait. So, the wedding photo. Kyle does what any rational person would do. He panics, sends a text. Hey, saw you at that wedding. Looked fun. Who was that? 3 hours later, oh, just a friend, haha. Just a friend. Kyle knows it's a lie. You know it's a lie. Even Kyle's therapist, who's only heard one side of this disaster, knows it's a lie. But Kyle needs to believe it, because accepting the truth means accepting that he's been a placeholder, a backup plan, an NPC in someone else's main character story. 2 weeks later, they finally meet up. Kyle tries to have the talk, and this person, bless their emotionally unavailable heart, says this. I feel like you're putting pressure on me. I told you I'm not ready for a relationship right now. If you can't handle that, maybe we shouldn't do this. And there it is. The trap snaps shut. Because now Kyle is the bad guy for wanting clarity. Kyle is too intense. Kyle is ruining a good thing. So Kyle apologizes. Apologizes for having feelings. Apologizes for wanting commitment. Apologizes for existing with expectations. And they go right back to the same pattern. Except now Kyle knows he's not the only one. But he stays, because 7 months feels too long to walk away from. 6 months later, Kyle sees their Instagram. Official with new person's name. Timeline? 2 weeks. They found someone worth committing to in 2 weeks, after telling Kyle they weren't ready for a relationship for 13 months. All right, enough pain. Let's fix this. If you're currently in a situationship, or if Kyle is hate-watching this while crying into his DoorDash, here's what you're gonna do. Step 1. Immediate action. The clarity conversation. Within the next 72 hours, you're having the conversation. Not the what are we conversation, that's weak. Here's what you say. Direct, no filler. I need to know if we're working towards something real or if this is just casual for you. And I need an actual answer, not a let's see where it goes. No softening, no I totally get it if you're not ready, no apologizing for wanting commitment. You're not asking permission, you're stating your terms. If they dodge, deflect, or hit you with I don't like labels, you have your answer. They're just too cowardly to say it. Step 2. Mindset shift. Understanding the power dynamic. Here's the dark psychology part. Whoever cares less has the power. Right now, they have all of it. You are auditioning for a role they haven't even decided they're casting for. You need to flip the script. Not by playing games, by actually valuing yourself enough to walk away from uncertainty. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know. If someone wants you, they make it clear. Not confusing, not ambiguous, clear. If they wanted to commit, they would. The fact that they haven't after months, that's your answer. Stop making excuses for people who aren't making time for you. Step 3. Habit change. The 30-day detox. If the clarity conversation goes poorly, or if you realize you're too scared to even have it because you know what they'll say, you're going cold turkey. 30 days, no contact. Not, I'll just check their story real quick. Not just one text to see how they're doing. Cold turkey. Block their number if you have to. Delete the text thread. Unfollow on social media. Your brain is addicted to the variable reward schedule they've been giving you. You need to break the dopamine loop. What will happen? Week 1, you'll feel anxious, like you made a mistake. Week 2, you'll want to text them just to talk. Week 3, you'll start feeling lighter, like you can breathe again. Week 4, you'll realize how much mental space they were taking up. for free. And here's the beautiful part. If they cared, they'll reach out. If they don't, you saved yourself 6 more months of emotional purgatory. Look, if you're watching this and you felt personally attacked, good. That means you're self-aware enough to recognize the pattern. Most people stay in situationships for years. You clicked this video. That's already step 1. Here's what I need from you. Drop a comment right now telling me what city you're watching from. I want to see where all the emotionally unavailable people are tuning in from. Are we tracking a migration pattern? Is this a coastal thing? Let me know. And if you're brave enough, tell me, are you currently in a situationship or are you recovered? No judgment. Well, some judgment, but mostly support. Hit subscribe if you want more psychology that's actually honest instead of coddling you with love yourself, queen energy. Because real talk, sometimes the kindest thing someone can do is tell you you're being an idiot. Oh, and one more thing. If your person watches this video and still doesn't commit, they just told you everything you need to know without saying a word. You're welcome.